Hello everyone, welcome to the classroom once again. Thank you so much for joining us as always. Today we're going to be discussing one of the best episodes of Avatar that no one really talks about for some reason. And once again, thank you so much for joining us as always. Avatar is one of my favorite subjects on this channel. I get to make fun of Zuko, talk about Korra, I even shit on the Blue People movie one time. So this channel loves Avatar. And my most popular / one of my favorite videos ever is probably about the single most underrated episode in the history of Avatar, in my opinion. Season 2, Episode 1 of The Last Airbender, The Avatar State, is a deceptively incredible episode. One that really only shows how fantastic it is on your second or maybe even third watch through. Foreshadowing about the future of the plot and the characters litter the episode, and just about every technical aspect of the show looks even better than it did before. But the episode I will be talking about today, The Avatar and the Fire Lord from Season 3, is fantastic in a completely different style. And each time I talk about Avatar The Last Airbender, I will be explaining less and less of it, so let's just roll the clip.
Long ago, the Fire Nation attacked.
Okay, you're good. You get it. Now, coming out of Season 1, the premiere of Season 2 didn't necessarily have to be this impressive, but it obviously didn't hurt. Season 1 is really good. It's a whole third of one of the best animated series of all time, but it's definitely the first season. Even lightly criticizing this show feels like stepping through a minefield. But going back through, there may be a lot more, stupid bullshit than you may be expecting. The slower pace of Season 1 leading up to an exciting, albeit expected battle, and then opening Season 2 with an immediate betrayal from the Earth Kingdom really takes the audience by surprise. But why do I bring this up? Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, or ADHD, is a neurological disorder that results in a higher amount of energy, excessive vocalization, and luckily I have found a way to get back to the topic. While a great episode of serialized television obviously has to be great in its own right, that doesn't cut it. If you took even one of my favorite episodes from Season 1, say The Deserter, and plopped it in the middle of Season 3, not only would it just not make sense, obviously, but it's just not very good anymore. The story is ramped up so much that while I would still love moments like this,
I have mastered the elements 1,000 times in 1,000 lifetimes. Now, I must do it once again. You will teach the Avatar firebending.
there's a lot of sitting around and they attend a festival. That's okay. Oh shit, is that a dragon? Oh, okay, so it's not so bad, but it's no Day of Black Sun. While such a big part of what makes the Avatar State so incredible is how it raises the bar for the series, the Avatar and the Fire Lord is incredible for much different reasons. But before we get into it, folks, please... Hello, I am Shane's ancestor. I have come for an important message. Please like and subscribe. Now, back to the video. The Avatar and the Fire Lord follows the previous Avatar, Roku, and the Fire Lord who started the 100-Year War, Sozin. It also features a framing story that is planted firmly in the middle of the minefield, but more on that later. The flashback opens with Avatar Roku catching Aang up on all the friend group tea from his days as the Avatar, though just before he had found out he even was. Roku reveals to Aang that Sozin was his friend, and that they even shared a birthday, when Aang responds with unsurprising shock at the man who genocided his people having been his own friend in a way. Roku corrects him. Back then, he was just the humble Prince Sozin, and he was his best friend. But their lives are immediately uprooted when the Prince Sozin has to bow down to Roku, who has just been announced on their 16th birthday to be the new Avatar. Like Aang, Roku isn't exactly yelling yip yips for joy at the news, but whereas Aang runs away, Roku sits and stews in the good news. It's a much more teenager response. And while in another, less good and more bad story, Roku being announced as the new Avatar may have immediately sent Sozin down the genocidal path out of jealousy, but Avatar is better than that.
Everything's going to be different now. Here, I hope you're at least allowed to have this.
But this is a royal artifact. It's supposed to be worn by the crown prince.
I want you to have it.
Hey man, that's not cool. Just because two men show love, kindness, and even compassion for each other doesn't make them gay. Emotionally engaging friendships are extremely vital for men, and we need more of them. So anyways, the two boyfriends start their big gay journeys. Sozin begins his reign as Fire Lord, which I guess is not an explicitly evil job yet, and Roku heads first to the Southern Air Temple. After having Aang, who's a real airbender's airbender, as our first avatar, it's nice that when we see past avatars, they're not always so in tune with their element. Roku, seeming quite calm and even dispassionate at times, isn't stereotypically fire at all. Roku returns to the Fire Nation after 12 long years of learning the elements, now being a fully realized avatar. He has come home for his wedding with Sozin as his best man. Sure. And the night only gets better after that, with Fire Lord Sozin telling his best buddy Avatar Roku all about his awesome new plan. The Fire Nation is experiencing an unprecedented time of peace and wealth, one that they could share with the rest of the world. Can't you just picture it? Sounds fun. Roku immediately sniffs the bullshitty notes of fascism from Sozin and tells him with no hesitation that this would be the last he hears of it. Man, it's crazy because now we have, like, social media, but back in the day, you had to wait 12 years and then go home to learn that your best buddy turned into Hitler. Sozin ignores Roku's warnings and begins to conquer and colonize Earth Kingdom territory, believing Roku's loyalty to the Fire Nation will lead him to his way of thinking.
I've seen the colonies, Sozin. How dare you occupy Earth Kingdom territory?
How dare you, a citizen of the Fire Nation, address your Fire Lord this way?
But he is sorely mistaken. Roku basically hangs him up by his undies on a flagpole, giving him a fate worse than death. But he seriously should have just killed him. Sozin does seemingly listen to his former friend, and a fragile sense of peace hangs over the four nations. And the next time we see these two, we get a scene that has not left me in the years since I saw it for the first time. 25 years after their breakup, a massive volcano on the island Roku and his wife have retired to erupts, being off the coast of the Fire Nation. With it even being visible from Sozin's palace, you may think that this is the most insane hit job in the world, but no. Sozin returns to not only save his friend's life, but he helps him keep what's left of the humble village they live in from burning to the ground. Sozin has a chance to save them both, but when he sees Roku cough and choke on the black smoke filling his lungs, he takes his opportunity.
Without you, all my plans are suddenly possible. I have a vision for the future, Roku.
Roku dies, surely fearful of what will become of the world in his absence. Of course, we all know. But the story of Avatar Roku and Fire Lord Sozin is a really fascinating one, and it's one of my single favorite episodes of the series. Roku growing into a strong, stoic avatar is compelling enough, but Sozin's story is much more interesting for me. When Roku left to master the elements, a clear difference between these two begins. Roku wants what's best for the world, and Sozin wants what's best for the Fire Nation. And while Roku had the strength to spare his friend when he easily could have ended him, Sozin is too weak to save a threat that could ever defeat him, even his best friend. This tale of growing nationalist ideology being told through these two friends is already incredible, but it is made even better by the episodes that surround it. While the Avatar state didn't need to prove anything to the audience, it still opened up Book 2 in an incredible way. But the Avatar and the Fire Lord being the 6th episode in Season 3 positions it right smack dab in the middle of some of the best episodes in the series. The Painted Lady, Sokka's Master, the beach, the runaway, the puppet master.
No curveball, no changer, nothing but fucking gas.
And the cherry on top of all of this is that we don't even need this part of the story. This is an episode that, like a lot of Avatar's best, doesn't even really need to be there for the story to work. Except for one stupid part, I guess. Iroh reveals to Zuko that while of course he knew his father's grandfather was Fire Lord Sozin, his mother's grandfather is Avatar Roku. And while I think this is a fine enough inclusion, why? I think that Zuko and Aang's eventual friendship as Avatar and Fire Lord is enough of an echo of the story of Sozin and Roku without making it so stupidly literal. In the comic The Promise, Aang and Zuko come to a similar head over the former Fire Nation colonies. And I don't want to spoil it for you, but that story on top of the literal blood relation on top of their friendship anyways just happening, just makes the whole idea feel a little insecure. It feels like the creators didn't want to include this episode without having it tie more directly into our characters now. Or some executive scribbled this last part on a napkin really quick and gave it to the writers like 20 minutes before it aired, and this show is usually just a lot more confident than that feeling. But that does pretty much nothing to take away from how much I really love this episode of Avatar that no one seems to talk about. Despite one little stumble in the end, I really do think that this is one of the best episodes of Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I just love it, so it was great to get to talk about it. But that is the video for this week, y'all. I will see you next time. It is so great to be back to posting videos again. Goodbye.
Some friendships are so strong, they can even transcend lifetimes.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching that video. If you made it to this point, a special double thank you. I've been gone for a minute. So first I had my brother's wedding. Congratulations to him and my now sister-in-law. It was a fantastic time. However, after that, so as like usually at weddings, like you will give like the bride and the groom like a present, and they decided to give many of their guests the present of illness. Yeah, a bunch of people got sick after the wedding. I kind of always plan to get sick after like big events like that. I feel like it's an inevitability. But anyways, what I have to show off for my collection this week. Oh, but I'm really glad to be posting videos again. Because yeah, my laptop also wasn't working. But we're good though. But we've got The Search. No wait, this is The Promise. The Search is the other one that I have. This is one of the Avatar like in continuity comic books that they released. It's really good. It's about so it's after the series obviously. And it's about Aang and Zuko, like, in their first, like, they, like, come to their first, like, head as, like, leaders of, like, different, like, nations of, like, people now. So, yeah, it's really interesting. It's really good. I just learned that I have a scratch across the front of it, so I'm actually kind of bummed. I just pulled this out for this. But I'll catch y'all next time. Goodbye.